I'm writing this at 3:47 a.m. because I can't sleep again. My therapist says I should journal, but I've never been good at lying to myself on paper. So here's the truth, the whole fucking truth, about how I went from being Sarah, the college psychology major, to whatever I am now. It started innocent enough. Doesn't it always? I was 22, broke as hell, working at a campus coffee shop for $9 an hour while drowning in student loans. My roommate, Emma, was making what seemed like crazy money posting workout videos on Instagram. You're naturally pretty, she'd say, and you've got that girl next door thing. People eat that shit up. I rolled my eyes at first. The whole influencer thing felt so shallow, so fake. But when my car broke down and I was looking at a $1,200 repair bill, shallow started looking pretty practical. I already had maybe 800 followers from high school and college friends. How hard could it be? My first post was a selfie in workout clothes with some generic caption about self-love. It got 67 likes. Not exactly viral, but it was more engagement than my usual posts about coffee art or sunset photos. The next week, I posted a morning routine video. Same yoga pants, but this time I made sure to bend over while making my smoothie. The comments started getting different. Goals. Teach me your secrets. Where did you get those leggings? You look amazing. The dopamine hit was immediate. I'd refresh constantly, watching the numbers climb. Likes, comments, new followers. It felt like validation in a way I'd never experienced. For the first time since starting college, I felt like I was good at something. Within a month, I had 2,000 followers. Brands started reaching out, small fitness companies, local restaurants, wanting me to post about their acai bowls. The money was still small, maybe $200 a month, but it felt huge when you're surviving on ramen and whatever free food the coffee shop threw out. Emma watched my numbers grow with a mix of pride and something else I couldn't name then. She started suggesting I show more skin, post more frequently, engage with the thirsty comments instead of ignoring them. Sex sells, she'd shrug. Doesn't mean you're selling sex. That distinction would matter a lot more later than it did then. The turning point came during finals week of my senior year. I was stressed, exhausted, and desperate for a distraction. I posted a photo in a sports bra and tiny shorts with some bullshit caption about powering through stress. It blew up 2,000 likes in 2 hours. The comments were more explicit than usual, but mixed in with the creepy stuff were genuine compliments, encouragement, people saying I inspired them. A guy in the comments offered to send me $100 for a custom workout video. Just for him, nothing weird, he promised. Just wanted personalized fitness advice. I stared at that comment for an hour. $100 was groceries for 2 weeks. It was a tank of gas. It was the difference between stress and relief. I DM'd him back. The first custom video was exactly what he said, a 10-minute workout routine in my dorm room. I wore normal gym clothes, kept it professional, explained each exercise clearly. He sent the $100 through PayPal immediately and thanked me like I'd saved his life. It felt powerful. I'd created something. Someone valued it enough to pay for it, and I'd helped them. Win, win, win. Word spread somehow. Within 2 weeks, I had 3 more requests, then 5, then 10. The requests started getting more specific. Could I wear this color? Could I do the workout in the morning so the lighting was softer? Could I say their name when I introduced the video? Small requests, harmless ones. Each time, I told myself I was just being a good businesswoman, giving customers what they wanted. The money was adding up. Some weeks I was making more from custom videos than from my coffee shop job. I graduated with a 3.7 GPA and 15 Kelvin followers. While my classmates were sending out resumes and stressing about entry-level jobs that paid $35 Kelvin a year, I was pulling in $2,000 a month from my phone. Emma had moved to LA to try the influencer thing full-time. She kept texting me screenshots of her earnings, encouraging me to level up. You're playing it too safe, she'd say. The girls making real money aren't afraid to show a little more skin. I moved back in with my parents that summer, officially to save money while job hunting. Really, it was because I could film content all day without a roommate around to judge me. My childhood bedroom became my studio. Ring light in the corner, backdrop hung on the closet door, phone permanently mounted on a tripod. The requests kept escalating gradually. Could I do yoga instead of traditional workouts? Could I wear tighter clothes? Could I include stretching scenes? Each boundary I crossed felt small in isolation, but looking back, it was death by 1,000 tiny compromises. The first time someone asked if I sold underwear, I was disgusted. I screenshotted it and sent it to Emma with a bunch of vomit emojis. She called me immediately. Babe, that's a $200, 300 request. Easy. You don't have to do anything weird. Just wear them for a workout, toss them in a baggie, and mail them. It's literally money for laundry you were going to do anyway. I hung up on her, but the idea stuck. $300 for worn underwear? I was working 20 hours a week at a local restaurant for less than that. 3 weeks later, when a regular customer offered $250, I said yes. That's when I knew I was in trouble. Not because I'd sold underwear to a stranger, but because it barely bothered me. The shame I expected never came. Instead, I felt relief. Financial relief? Sure, but also psychological relief. I'd crossed the line I thought I'd never cross, and the world didn't end. I was still me. Or so I told myself. The money got addictive fast. Not just having it, but earning it. Every notification meant potential income. Every new follower was a potential customer. I started calculating my worth in real time based on engagement rates and DM requests. I was making more than my friends with actual jobs, working fewer hours, and doing something that felt creative and entrepreneurial. When people asked what I did for work, I said, social media marketing consultant. Technically true, mostly bullshit. My parents thought I was job hunting. My friends thought I was killing it as an influencer. My followers thought I was just a girl who loved fitness and positivity. Everyone saw a different version of me, and I was becoming an expert at managing all of them. The compartmentalization felt sustainable then. I had rules, boundaries. I was smart about it, careful, in control. Famous last words. The platform change happened 6 months later. Instagram started cracking down on suggestive content, and my reach plummeted overnight. Posts that used to get thousands of likes were barely hitting 200. The algorithm had decided I was too risky for the main feed. Emma, now going by EmmaFit, and pulling in $8 Kelvin a month, had the solution. OnlyFans. It's just like what you're already doing, but you actually get paid fairly for it. She explained over FaceTime from her new LA apartment. No more relying on Instagram's bullshit algorithm. Direct payment from fans who actually want to support you. I resisted for months. OnlyFans felt different, more explicit, more real. There was no hiding behind fitness content or wellness coaching. It was sex work, even if it was just photos and videos. Even if I never planned to meet anyone in person. But my regular income was dropping fast. Restaurant shifts weren't covering my car payment, my phone bill, my credit cards. I'd gotten used to a certain lifestyle, and the thought of going back to being genuinely broke felt impossible. My first OF post was a mirror selfie in lingerie with my face partially hidden. I priced it at $15 per month and promoted it subtly on my Instagram story. New exclusive content for serious fitness fans. I got 47 subscribers in the first week, $705 in my first month. The rush was immediate and intense. These weren't random followers hitting a heart button. These were people paying real money to see content I created specifically for them. They left comments, sent messages, requested custom content. It felt like the most direct form of validation I'd ever experienced. But it also felt like crossing into a different world. The messages got more personal, more sexual, more demanding. Subscribers started asking for specific poses, specific outfits, specific scenarios. The line between fantasy and reality got blurrier with every custom request. I started spending hours crafting the perfect photos, obsessing over lighting and angles and expressions. My phone's camera roll became a library of explicit content organized into folders by type and customer. I bought new lingerie weekly, turned my bedroom into a professional studio, invested in better lighting and camera equipment. Within 3 months, I had 200 subscribers and was making $4,000 a month. I quit the restaurant job and told my parents I'd landed a remote marketing position. The lies were getting more elaborate, but the money made them feel justified. The psychological toll hit slowly, then all at once. I started having trouble maintaining relationships with people who knew me in real life. How could I hang out with college friends when I was hiding this massive secret? How could I date when my entire income depended on performing sexuality for strangers? I became hyper aware of how men looked at me, what they might be thinking, whether they'd seen my content. Every interaction felt loaded with potential exposure. I stopped going to local bars, stopped dating apps, stopped putting myself in situations where someone might recognize me. The isolation drove me deeper into the online world. Subscribers became my primary social interaction. Their validation became my emotional lifeline. I started checking messages obsessively, responding instantly, treating their approval like oxygen. That's when the really dark requests started coming in. The escalation was gradual until it wasn't. Subscribers who'd been content with lingerie photos for months suddenly wanted more explicit content. The ones paying for custom videos started requesting things that made me uncomfortable, but the money they offered made it hard to say no. Just this once became my mantra. Just this once, I'll do something that crosses my personal boundaries. Just this once, I'll fulfill a request that makes my stomach turn. Just this once, I'll prioritize money over my own comfort. Except it was never just once. The worst part wasn't the content itself. It was how efficiently I learned to dissociate while creating it. I could perform any scenario, any fantasy, any role, while my actual self floated somewhere above my body, calculating payments and planning the next shoot. I became an expert at manufacturing intimacy with strangers while feeling completely disconnected from my own sexuality. My highest earning month was December 2023, $7,800. I remember because I screenshot the payment notification and stared at it for 20 minutes. It was more than my mom made working full-time as a nurse. It was more than some of my friends made with their college degrees and professional jobs. It was also the month I started having panic attacks. The first one hit while I was filming a custom video. Suddenly I couldn't breathe, couldn't think, couldn't remember why I was half naked in my childhood bedroom performing for a camera. I had to stop recording and lie on my floor for an hour, trying to remember who I was outside of this performance. The anxiety got worse after that. I started having intrusive thoughts about subscribers finding my real name, my address, my family. I became paranoid about being recognized in public. I stopped posting photos anywhere that could be traced back to my real identity. My parents started asking questions. Why was I always working from my room? Why didn't I ever talk about coworkers? Why did I seem so jumpy and secretive? The lies I'd built my new life on were starting to collapse under their own weight. The breaking point came in February. A subscriber offered me $2,000 for an in-person meeting. Nothing sexual, he claimed. He just wanted to take me to dinner, spend time with someone he'd been supporting for months. He seemed normal enough, polite in messages, never pushy or creepy. I seriously considered it. $2,000 for a dinner. It seemed easy compared to some of the content I'd been creating. But something in his message, maybe the way he mentioned knowing I lived in Ohio, maybe the way he described what I should wear, made my skin crawl. I declined. But the fact that I'd even considered it scared me more than any of the explicit content I'd created. I realized I'd lost track of my own boundaries so completely that I couldn't tell the difference between reasonable and dangerous anymore. That night, I called Emma for the first time in months. She was doing well, buying a house, talking about expanding her brand. But when I told her about the dinner offer and my panic attacks, there was a long silence. "Maybe you should take a break," she said finally. "This isn't supposed to make you miserable." But taking a break meant losing income. It meant disappointing subscribers who'd been loyal customers. It meant facing the reality of who I'd become and what I'd been doing for money. Most terrifyingly, it meant figuring out who I was without the constant validation and financial rewards of performing sexuality for strangers. I deactivated my OnlyFans account on a Tuesday in March. No announcement, no goodbye message. I just stopped. The last thing I posted was a mirror selfie with a caption about focusing on new projects. The withdrawal was immediate and brutal. Not just financial, though losing $6 Kelvin a month definitely hurt, but psychological. I'd been getting dozens of notifications a day for almost 2 years. Messages, likes, comments, payment confirmations, constant proof that I existed, that I mattered, that I was wanted. Suddenly, my phone was silent. I spent the first week in a weird grief cycle. Relief that I didn't have to perform anymore, followed by panic about money, followed by shame about what I'd been doing, followed by missing the validation and attention. I'd refresh my empty notifications obsessively, muscle memory looking for something that wasn't there anymore. My savings lasted 3 months. I'd gotten good at spending money as fast as I made it. Better camera equipment, designer lingerie, expensive skincare, paying down credit cards only to run them back up. When I calculated my actual net worth, it was barely higher than when I'd started. I took a job at a local gym teaching fitness classes for $25 an hour. It felt surreal being back in the real world, interacting with people who saw me as just another instructor, not a fantasy or a commodity. The pay was shit compared to what I'd been making, but the simplicity was almost addictive. Show up, teach a class, go home. No cameras, no messages, no performance. The hardest part wasn't the money, it was explaining the gap in my resume. What do you say when potential employers ask what you've been doing for 2 years? I got creative with the truth. Freelance, social media consulting, personal training, content creation, all technically accurate, all completely misleading. I'm 25 now and working as a social media manager for a small nonprofit. The irony isn't lost on me. I'm back to Instagram posts and engagement metrics, but this time I'm promoting adoption events and fundraising campaigns instead of my own body. The pay is $42 Kelvin a year, which feels like nothing and everything simultaneously. I still have panic attacks sometimes, usually triggered by seeing OF advertisements or hearing friends talk casually about side hustles and easy money online. I'm in therapy now, trying to untangle the person I am from the person I performed as for 2 years. The therapist asks a lot about identity and self-worth. How much of my confidence came from external validation? How did I learn to commodify my sexuality so efficiently? What did I think I was getting from subscribers beyond money? I don't have good answers yet. I know I was lonely, broke, and desperate for control over my life. The platform gave me all three temporarily: community, financial security, and the illusion that I was empowering myself by choosing how to monetize my body. But it also taught me to see myself through the eyes of strangers, to value myself based on what others were willing to pay for access to me. It trained me to perform intimacy without feeling it, to manufacture desire I didn't experience, to treat my own sexuality like a product to be optimized and marketed. Some days I miss it. Not the explicit content or the creepy messages, but the simplicity of the transaction. Someone wanted something, I provided it, they paid me. Clean, direct, no office politics or performance reviews or wondering if I was good enough. Most days, though, I'm grateful to be figuring out who I am when nobody's watching, when there's no camera rolling, when my worth isn't measured in dollars per month or engagement rates. I don't regret all of it. The money helped me avoid massive student loan debt. I learned things about business, marketing, and financial management that serve me well now. I discovered I could be entrepreneurial and creative under pressure. But I also learned that easy money is never actually easy, that validation from strangers is a drug that stops working, and that you can lose yourself so gradually you don't notice until you try to find yourself again. If you're reading this and considering something similar, I'm not gonna tell you not to do it. Everyone's situation is different, and I'm not here to judge other people's choices. But I will say this, decide who you are before you start performing who you think other people want you to be. Because once you get good at being what other people want, it becomes really fucking hard to remember what you actually want. That's the truth nobody talks about. The real cost isn't shame or judgment from others. It's losing track of yourself so completely that when you finally stop performing, you have no idea who's left behind. I'm still figuring that out.